You probably saw my last video on Icrid. Icrid equals Dandân. Keeping in the spirit of making one shared deck game types, I came up with another, but it's mono red with a ton of artifacts. It's Who Let the Dogs Out. Our namesake dog is Scrapwork Mutt. This card from the Brothers War is a 2-mana artifact creature dog. It's a 2/1, and when it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, you draw a card. Furthermore, it also has Unearth for 1 in a red. So the focus of this deck is to get down our Scrapwork Mutt and keep it protected to get in some damage, while at the same time removing our opponent's Scrapwork Mutts. Each player is going to start with 20 life, just like a traditional game of Magic, and we're going to share this one 80-card deck. Now for a little more excitement, we're going to include some cards from one of the most hated modern decks of all time. Wait, before we get into it, the full deck list is on Moxfield. That most hated card is Lantern of Insight. It's a 1-mana artifact. Each player plays with the top card of his or her library revealed, and you can sack it to make a player shuffle the library. So, we can see what our opponents are going to draw and try to stop them from drawing it. Skeleton Shard is going to let us steal Scrapwork Mutts out of the graveyard so our opponents can't unearth them. Wand of Vertebrae will let us put that top card of the library into the graveyard if it's something we don't need or something we don't want our opponents to have. Blind Blast will let us remove one of our opponent's creatures and draw a card so we can snipe that perfect card off the top card of the library and remove a threat. Blazing Volley is I win the game. It's going to deal 1 damage to each creature our opponent controls. That way we can get in for lethal. Chaos Charm does 2 things for us. 1, it will let us remove a Scrapwork Mutt, and 2, it can give one of ours haste to get in immediately. The haste that Expedite gives is nice, but I've got this as an instant speed cantrip to snipe our opponent's draws. Lava Dart is that premium reusable removal. It just deals 1 damage to any target, and you can flash it back by sacrificing a land. Besides being the priciest card in this deck list, it's probably the best. That's Molten Influence. For 1 in a red, it will let you counter an instant or sorcery spell unless that spell's controller takes 4 damage. Shunt is basically our counter spell in this deck. It's going to change the target of a spell with a single target. That way the removal spell backfires. Stun is another one of our instant speed cantrips. It does make it so a creature can't block, but I care more about the card. This wouldn't be a Dandân style deck without cycling lands, so we can snipe those cards. To round this deck out, we're running a few utility lands and some scry lands. So once again, this build, just like Icrid, comes in under $20. If you want me to make this a full-fledged series, be sure to comment below. Once again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.